और इसमें उथल पुथल होते रहते हैं, नेताओं की गुटबंदी होते रहती है, इसके भी स्वीकार रहे हैं। लेकिन लंबा टाइम से इधर के दिनों में वो अस्वस्थ चल रहे थे, काफी फिजिकली भी उनको काफी तकलीफ था, और बीमारी बुढ़ापे में भी, बूढ़ा आदमी होता, ओल्ड एज हो जाता आदमी तो तकलीफ होता है।
लालू जी सबसे बड़ा कंट्रीब्यूशन क्या देखेंगे? लालू जी
व्यवहार कौन किया क्या नहीं,
लालू जी सबसे बड़ा कंट्रीब्यूशन आप अर्जुन सिंह का भारत की राजनीति में आप क्या देखेंगे?
ये मजबूत नेता थे, स्तंभ थे, ब्रेव थे, बहादुर आदमी थे, किसी से डरते नहीं थे, और राजनीति में डर के राजनीति नहीं की जाती है। तो इससे हम सबसे बड़ा गुण उनमें था कि काफी बहादुरी के साथ और मजबूती के साथ अपनी बातों को हर फोरम पर रखते थे, कोई माने या न माने, लेकिन वो बिल्कुल मजबूती के साथ बात को रखते थे।
अंतिम सवाल लालू जी,
में भी उनके साथ कैबिनेट में भी मुझे काम करने का मौका मिला
जी,
काफी मजबूती के साथ बातों।
अंतिम सवाल लालू जी आपसे, क्या आपको नहीं लगता कि अर्जुन सिंह के जो रिश्ते थे खासतौर पे गांधी परिवार से, वो उनके जीवन के अंतिम दिनों में काफी खटास में पड़ गए थे?
अब उतना तो हमको जानकारी नहीं है, आप लोगों तो हमें जानकारी होगी, क्योंकि हम जो जानते हैं उतना ही हम अपने भावना को व्यक्त करते हैं।
जी, लालू प्रसाद यादव, thanks so much for joining us and sharing with us your experiences of having worked with Arjun Singh. The good point that was made there by Lalu Yadav was that he was an individual who really stood by his own stand and never got worried of what the repercussions were. Also joining us, another veteran congressman who's not in the Congress anymore, former Union Minister Natwar Singh is joining us on the phone line. Thanks for joining us, Mr. Singh. Let me get your first reaction, sir. Your former colleague Arjun Singh is no more today.
Well, I was very deeply distressed to hear of his passing away. I knew he'd not been well for some weeks. I had the good fortune to work with him in the Tiwari Congress in the early 1990s, and then as a cabinet colleagues in the UPA 1.
He's not Congress leader. He's not Congress.
The one? Hello?
Yes, Natwar Singh ji, you're saying that you have known of him for such a long time, but the similarities between you and Arjun Singh don't end. In a sense, you also, towards the fag end of your political career, fell out with the Gandhi family. You had to pay a heavy price for that. Arjun Singh also, many thought, had fallen out with the Gandhis in a sense, and therefore had to suffer the ignominy of not being included in the Congress working committee.
I said, listen, these things don't bother me, and I don't think they bother Arjun Singh. I mean, if you had a difference of opinion with somebody, doesn't mean that our lives will come to an end.
So tell us something about Arjun Singh, the person. We were just speaking a short while back to Lalu Prasad, and he was saying that Arjun Singh was an individual who would never be scared of airing his opinions. Was that something that you also experienced, irrespective of what his detractors were?
First of all, he was a heavyweight politician of vast experience. He had a first-rate political temperament. He never got flustered. He never raised his voice. And he gave his views after mature consideration.
Would you say, would you say, Mr. Singh, that in a sense, with the demise of Arjun Singh, we really are looking at the passing away of yet another very, very senior, solid, grounded leader who had a mass appeal? I mean, Arjun Singh, you, as you rightly describe him, was a political heavyweight coming from Madhya Pradesh.
No, his passing away is a loss to the Congress party, it's a loss to Madhya Pradesh, and it's a loss to the country, because his services in various high offices are very considerable, and I don't think he's going to be forgotten.
Final question to you, Mr. Singh. What, according to you, would be the biggest contribution of Arjun Singh to Indian polity?
I think he showed to a lot of people, and especially younger people, that politics was a very serious national activity, and one couldn't trifle with it.
All right.
Because the stakes are always very high, and I don't think on very many major issues, he made any compromise, which is saying a great deal for a politician.
All right, Dr. Singh,
So,
thanks, sir. Thanks for joining us, Mr. Singh, and sharing with us your experiences of having known Arjun Singh. As we've been pointing out with the passing away of Arjun Singh, this really is a case where yet another senior leader who has been with the Congress party for a very, very long time, served in different stints, and again, a leader with mass appeal, at least within a particular region, the passing away of such a leader.
Bhupen, thanks a lot for